What a game one of the World Series. What's up, Otakus? This is a special World Series edition. I mean, first off, uh, I am a baseball fan at heart. It's my favorite sport. Um, basketball, football, these sports are great, but in soccer, these are all great sports. But for me, baseball is tops. And it's been a great playoff series, first off. And let me just say, my Mariners aren't doing anything for me. So, um, as much as I want to see the Mariners in the World Series and the team doing well, they blow. So, my wife is Japanese. I've been watching Otani since he was, in Japan. Um, and then when he came over to the U.S., we got to go to games between him and the Angel. Between the Men's and the Angels, and we've just been big fans of Otani. And man, he's just performed every year. Since joining the league, he's just gotten better and better. He got the $700 million contract. Uh, he's played out of his mind this season, going, joining the 50-50 club. Um, Definitely taking the MVP trophy home, especially after he wins this series, because I honestly believe the Dodgers are destined to win this series now. They This was a must win for Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound, and he pitched great tonight, but their bullpen imploded at the end. And really, this is where the Dodgers have an advantage. They just need to battle through the starter, get to the bullpen, and then just do some damage. So it's not looking good for the Yankees right now. Um, and the Dodgers didn't play all that well tonight. They got kind of lucky. Um, but all being said, man, Freddie effin' Freeman with the walk-off grand salami to send the Dodger Stadium into a frenzy, Japan into a frenzy, pretty much everybody who hates the Yankees into a frenzy, man. I hate the Yankees more than any team in baseball. And it just felt great to see them lose tonight in that fashion. I mean, uh, you know, right now, this is a game of psychology. So this really tests your mettle. And right now, the Yankees, I gotta imagine they're like shit in the bed right now. They're shit in the bed because they had this game. They thought they had this game right going into the ninth, 1 run lead, 2 outs. Um, Man, and Shohei didn't play all that great, but he had one great at bat, double off the wall. There was an error, throwing error. He took third base, and eventually that was like the tying run. Um, in I think it was the bottom of the sixth or bottom of the sixth or bottom of the seventh inning, um, which brought the Dodgers back, tied the game. And man, a lot of back and forth, a lot of emotions. It was an incredible game one, and I just can't wait for every game this series. It's historically you've never seen a series like this. Obviously, the Dodgers and the Yankees going all the way back to the days of the Brooklyn versus Bronx series. Um, this has been an epic battle between two legendary franchises, legendary teams with a lot of history, a lot of greatness in that history. I mean, you're talking about all the championships the Yankees have won, and then I think the Dodgers are second in terms of the number of championships in baseball what you got, like 20 something championships by the Yankees and like 12 something championships by the Dodgers. It's just ridiculous. Um, but it's turned out to be top billing. This is must watch TV. It's a historic series. You got like five MVPs in this matchup. You've got the 250 home run hitters in the same season, the NL MVP and the AL MVP playing in the same series. It's just, uh, I'm still on this like adrenaline high from watching the game. And yeah, anyway, game two's tomorrow. So we'll be looking forward to that. But oh man, was it a great game? Yeah, great game. I mean, the World Baseball Classic was pretty intense, but I gotta admit, today's game was just so much more at stake, um, and in my opinion, was probably the greatest baseball game I've ever seen. This will probably go down to be the greatest World Series. I mean, it already is the greatest World Series we're witnessing. Um, that ending, there's never been a walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Okay, you know, all those. Remember the Kirk Gibson, like that. We've seen that that highlight reel for how long now? Well, like in my entire lifetime, we've seen that Kirk Gibson walk off home run. Okay, but tonight, what Freddie Freeman did, that, put that in the archive. This is the new Dodgers postseason walk off homer clip. I mean, that was incredible, and he knew he had it. It was just like everybody in that stadium knew. Jim Lee was at the game. Jim Lee was going nuts. He was like, he had the, you know, those were like $10,000 seats. He had like a, you know, field level $10,000 seats at Dodger Stadium. The tickets at this series are just ridiculously priced. I think the cheapest seats are $1,000 bucks. I mean, you got to be season ticket holders or billionaires to catch this series. But man, how lucky are those fans tonight? Oh man, I just wish uh, that would be. I mean, that's history right there. A lot of history tonight between these two storied franchises. All right, well, that's enough of that. It feels weird to like transition into a grade along, but it's Friday night. Feeling's right. We're gonna do some grade along, okay? And let me just get one more book here. Um, where did I put it here? This one. All right. I guess we'll start with this one. You know, I got back from Rochester, New York, and I showed off this book a while back, last week, I would say. And first off, before we get too far into the show, uh, shout out to Cantonese Comic Kid. Uh, he's my comic bro, and we are doing a weekly live stream on Saturdays. So I think Saturdays 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. We just hop on, we talk comics. We're gonna do something interesting. We're gonna do prepare some books and show them off. Like he's gonna do one, I'm gonna do one, like back and forth. I think we're gonna prepare 3 books each week. 3 books that he selects, 3 books that I select, and we reveal them on the show. And it's got a theme. We have it as one book that we speculate, a speculative book. We call it spec. And then number 2 is a recommendation book, a book that we think is like undervalued or underappreciated, or one that we just would recommend you to go out and get because uh, whether it's a great cover, whatever the reason, it's worth. We want to just make it known, um, kind of show it off, and kind of promote it as a recommendation book. Rec. So spec, rec, and the third one is um, just something from the collection that we want to show off, our show off book. We call that the flex book. Flex. So it's spec, rec, flex. And we're going to call it that. It's a three book. What's your spec, rec, flex books of the week? You like that? Yeah, I like it too. Spec, rec, flex books. All right, so we're gonna do you know spec, rec, flex book. We're gonna tune in for that. It's gonna be Halloween themed for tomorrow, just so you know, because Halloween's just around the corner. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, so whew, let's see. I'm still reeling from that World Series run here. So we've got a lot of books here to grade, and we're going to start with this one. Now, this one, just off like first impression, is like an 8.0, maybe a 7. Yeah, it's a 7.5 off first impression. It's got some staining here on the back. Not nothing like crazy. But like the spine, it's pretty worn. We're going 7.0. Spine here's, I'd say 7.5 is fair. Good. It doesn't really need a press. Corners are pretty. Look at the corners. The corners are not the sharpest, but not really, just a little rounded. And yeah, no major creasing or anything. You got the back could improve with the press. We got just a little crunchy action there. Nothing could be pressed down. Nothing. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. A little crunchy. A little bit of a slight. Yeah, no color break. Just some bends there. Could press out. Yeah, with the press and everything, I think I can get this up to a 7.5. I'd put it at a. There's really no. There's not a lot of like. There's just a lot of little kind of issues around. And again, this one can be pressed out. So again, with a good press, I think we can get this to like an 8.0. As is, I'd say it's a 7.5. Mm-hmm. 7.5 on this. Just a little bit of staining too on the back. Just needs probably a little bit of a little clean. But this is one cover. I have this in like high grade, probably 9.6, 9.8 candidate. Um, but I'm trying to get as much of the Jim Lee run in newsstand as I can, and I got this newsstand for 50 cents. 50 cents newsstand, and being in that 7.5, 7 cat grade range is fine by me for 50 cents. So yeah, that's just a great one of Jim's best covers. I hope Jim enjoyed the game today. So first of all, Jim posted the Freeman from his perspective, or I think his wife was taking the photo. They were both at the game, but yeah, Jim just kind of sat back down. He's like, "Oh my God, like what did I just witness?" Kind of like face. And he's a big Dodgers fan. He's been at pretty much all the postseason games this October. So yeah, I mean, he's having a grand old time, and I can't just. I mean, I'm right there with him. I hope the Dodgers win. Um, I know, Koreans in LA are rooting for Otani. Asians are rooting for Otani. Uh, Like I know, I think the person who bought Otani's 50-50 ball is Taiwanese. Like, is like some Taiwanese like rich dude just went and outbid everybody, outbid like Japanese collectors and everybody. It got up to what, 4 point something million, 4.4 million for that ball. Absolutely ridiculous. But hey, given what's up, Miss O? Oh no, no worries. Yeah, I hope you can join us tomorrow. It'll be a fun. I just have fun hanging out with Jeff uh, on the stream. He's such a great guy, and he's so knowledgeable, and I could just listen to him talk for hours. But we're trying to get like a build a rhythm into like doing some corners, doing some bits, or just making it a little bit more consistent and engaging. So we have this like great idea like showing off three books: our spec, rec, and flex books. Spec, speculation book; rec, our recommendation book for something you should go grab or add to your collection. And then of course the flex book, the thing we want, some things we want to show off from the collection. Jeff has a lot of flex books. I did, and my flex books aren't so bad either, but it'll be a fun time. So hopefully you can all join. Yeah, Jeff is a cool cat. He's my bro. All right, so we graded this at a 7.5. Let's go 7.0. Just the staining and all the little things. I think again with the press, I think we get up to an 8. As is, we'll just go 7.0. Should be fair. All right, I'm just doing Jim Lee books. This is kind of on Jim Lee. Uh, Now this one has a little bit of a corner crease there. You can see it. Nothing major though. The back looks pretty decent. Little spine ticks there. Sharp corners. No creasing or anything. No staining. The front on this looks really good too. This is a newsstand, by the way. It's a nice Jim Lee Captain America cover. Classic cover. Sharp corners. No creasing or anything. So yeah, and this is a square bound book. Let's take a look at the binding here. Binding looks pretty good. Yeah, overall, very high grade book minus that little corner crease. So I put this at put it an 8.5. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. Mm, we'll go 8.0. 8.01. Cap 383. You have no flex books? I find that hard to believe. I'm sure you have some flex books. Yeah. Um, I'm hitting a point where like I'm actually thinking of like because I have a lot of great books. I have a lot of great books, and I don't want to like sell them or part with them or anything. But I do want to. I've kind of reached a point now where like I need to consolidate, maybe sell off or trade or something. Like give away more than I get or something. To where I'm purging some of the volume in my collection. It's hard to because one day you're looking at a book and you're like, I don't really need this book, and you put it in the sort of the giveaway or sell type pile, and then you revisit it like 3 4 weeks later and you're like, wait, why is this here? You put it back in there. the core collection and all that. So it's really like it's hard to pick out books to, like separate. This is a book I want to keep versus this is a book I don't want to keep, and it's hard to do that for me. But yeah, all these books I'm showing off today are books I want to keep. So we're gonna go 8-0 on that last book. Yeah, that's fair. All right, this book is looking pretty high grade. Binding is really the spine is clean, sharp corners. Wow, the back is really nice too. This is like a near mint book. Go 9.4 all the way on this one. Clean spine there, sharp corners. I'm sure you can see the sharp corners. Sharp corners. Spine is pretty clean. There's a little bit of a spine roll there, but it's not going to prevent it from being. So yeah, I'd still keep it at a 9.4. A little bit of indentation there, but that's fine. No like wrinkling or creases of any kind. Now the edges are really sharp. Let's see, edges. There we go. Right? They are babies. Yeah. I like especially the books from the era I collected. I just for some reason like there's a lot of great books that come out these days. Um, but some of like the books that come out even with the great artwork and all the variant covers and they're just like fun. They're fun books. You got like something fun with Superman or something fun with like Wolverine and Deadpool. They're fun. But um there's just something about the books from my era, the books I was like exposed to like as a collector and you know, the keys and all that. Um those books just they just feel different. They just feel like I have a closer affinity to those books. Those even though a lot of them aren't worth much. The books from my era just aren't worth much. But um they're ones I want to have, you know. There's obviously like older books like Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age. All those earlier books are also very cool things I want to own. But there's just something about the era I was collecting, the writers and artists I was like, growing up, either reading firsthand or um, reading at some point, like through a collection, uh, like a, what do you call them? Like the word trade paperback, right? The collection of trade through trade paperbacks. Um, those anyway, when you get around to reading them and stuff from my era, it's like I just felt like that was like the I don't know, it was like that period was like some of the best stories. Um, obviously, with Jim Lee and like a lot of the artists from that era, some of the best artwork as well. It just was like such a you know late '80s to early '90s. It's just a great time for comic books. Just had so much. I mean, I keep saying it, but it was just really like a great time to be a comic book reader because you had so much selection. Um, and it hadn't gotten to a point where it's like, like the choice you have today. You could really read a lot of like indie stuff today. There was indie stuff back then, but I didn't read too much indie stuff. That was more for like real like comic book nerds. I was more into just like DC, Marvel. Then you had Image. Then you had like Dark Horse, right? Everybody remembers Dark Horse. Another big one was um, what was the other one? Comico. Comico was another one, or Comico, whatever you want to call it. That was another one. But yeah, they were kind of becoming more and more sort of um, gaining presence in the market. So those were always cool. All right, so Ghost Rider 5, we're giving it a 9.4. All right, moving right along. We got Ghost Rider number 26. This one is very similar grade to what we just looked at. Talking about baseball, we got the great Tony Gwynn here on a Fleer baseball card ad. Back looks pretty clean. Sharp corners. Front, same thing as well. Sharp corners, edges are clean. Look at that spine. And put this at a solid 9.4 for a new stand. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, I go 9.4 on that. Ghost Rider 26. And these are just classic Jim Lee covers. Online is actually, great for reading. I remember when I was in Korea, 'cause I was living and working there, I didn't have access to comics, so I would actually read the digital comics. And the nice thing with the digital comics is like you can tap, right? Like you can tap on it and it would kind of it blows up that panel. And you tap again and then it like it moves like it's like kind of like a movie. Um, that's a nice thing about those comic reader apps. They're designed to be like zoom in, um, and you just tap and it goes right to the next frame and all that. So they're fun to read. Better than turning pages, right? Like kind of like you know squinting to really getting it real close to see the panel saying. A lot of the panel, some of the like a lot of the early Jim Lee work, Alpha Flight, even Push Original, they're so like text heavy. So the panels, I mean, you got great action panels. Don't you got those too? But a lot of the panels are like they're just like tiny boxes, just like the word bubble is like commanding a lot of the space versus the artwork. Or you have to text is so tiny you have to like get a magnifying glass and try to figure it out. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good for people who just enjoy like reading um, a lot of content. It's a good way to not spend as much and take up all that space. So yeah, I would recommend digital comics. The great thing about digital comics is like if you actually want to go out and get, if you enjoy it, right? If you enjoy the story, because there's a lot of comics that don't hit the don't meet the bar sometimes, and so it's good to just read it, and if you like it, then it's you can go get it. But if you don't like it, then you're not kind of committed to that, right? Um, yeah, so I think Marvel has like a digital subscription where you can like read the whole catalog of books and stuff. And I think well, I think I should say most of the comic publishers probably have some kind of online subscription based, uh, um, you know, offering out there. How many boxes do I currently have? I have, I mean, I think I have like a close to 1,000 comic books. So whatever that would be like, I don't know, 8 boxes maybe. Was it 7 or 8 boxes? Um, I don't actually have them all in boxes, but I would imagine if I were to just put my whole collection in like short boxes, I'd have like maybe 7 or 8 short boxes. Um, and I'm trying to kind of reduce that now. Like, not that my passion and love for comic books is, you know, waning. I just, you know, I'm just being more thoughtful with what I bring into my collection, and um, part of that like fear of missing out, like just wanting to pick up, you know, the stuff I don't have, like just kind of voraciously looking for stuff is kind of just died down. So I'm happy with what I have, and if I have some money, I'll to get a comic book here and there. I'll do it. I am gonna try to do more. Like if I go on vacation or visit somewhere, out of state or out of the country, try to make it a point to go to like a comic book store, whether it's a manga shop or something. Just like kind of go and hunt and see what we can find. So that's been fun. I think I'm gonna do more of that um, when I have opportunities to travel. What's up, Rad Art and Comics 20? Yeah, 20 boxes. Wow, that's a lot. Rad Art and Comics is probably the badass collection. Gotta show more of that stuff off. All right, back to the grading. This one is just first look, an 8.5. Yeah, we got some spine ticks on the back here. Don't break color. Press that out. On the front, we got a series of just tiny, tiny little spine ticks along the spine. Corners are pretty sharp. Yeah, I'd just say this is a solid 8.5. Could get into the nines with a press. Nothing crazy. Another great Jim Lee cover here with a newsstand. Look at that. Some of the most popular characters, right? You got the Brood. Yeah, I'm assuming it's the Brood. You got Cyclops, Wolverine, Gambit, and Ghost Rider, right? Yeah. I think Jim does a pretty good job on every character he does. I haven't really been disappointed with a specific. Like he hasn't done a character where I've been like, well, that's way off. Like he's done a lot of characters like Conan, Punisher. You know, what's one that I'm kind of missing? He's done so many characters in X Men, right? All the X Men characters. Oh, what else? Ghost Rider's another great example. Captain America, you gotta love his Captain America, right? Fantastic Four, just he's done a lot of good character work. Wait, so we're gonna put this at an 8, 26, 27. We're gonna put it at an 8.5. I think that's fair. Uh, yeah, in case in point, we're talking about characters. I mean, look at these characters here. You got the Juggernaut, Quicksilver, Iceman. I assume that's some version of Jane and Scott. But Jane has red hair, not blonde hair. Who knows? But yeah, look at that Juggernaut, man. That's legit right there. What if Professor X of X Men had become the Juggernaut? That's right. People don't realize the Juggernaut is Charles's brother, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's like a brother or a cousin or something. They're related. Um, so this is, I mean, that would be scary right there if you had a juggernaut with, you know, psycho, like a psychokinetic. Well, what's the power? The psychokinetic power, telekinesis, moving stuff with your mind. Anyway, so yeah, what is this? We got just gonna go 8-5 off observation. Yeah, that's fair. We got kind of a spine with a few spine ticks and got like misstapled here. That's a weird place for the staple to be. Might have been restapled. Who knows? That stapling was way off. That would drop it right there to like a 7-5. But the corners are sharp, no real creasing or anything. I got this out of the 50-cent bin. I mean, that's a win right there. Gimli cover. I'm going to show you the signature. Where is it right there? Box signature, the Gimli. Incredible juggernaut. So yeah, we'll go 7. We'll go 7-5 on that one. What if number 13? 7-5. All right, this is just one of my favorite covers by Jim. We got it in a nice newsstand copy here. This is real nice. I'm gonna go near mint on this one. I have like I think 4 copies of this, but this is our nicest one. Just kind of kept picking them up. The other ones are kind of like mid grade. This one's high grade though. Got a new stand. I'd go like near mint on this copy. Just the corners are sharp. Spine is nothing major there. No creasing or anything. Back is well, there's a little bit of a misrep there. It still wouldn't knock it out of the near mint range. Yeah, nothing color breaking or anything like that. So yeah, it's a really nice copy for a newsstand. A little bit of a corner issue right sort of not right here. Barely noticeable, but a little easy right there, right there, right there. Still, I'm gonna go 9-4 on that one. X Factor 62 newsstand. 9-4. All right, moving right along. This one is one of these comic card covers, which I, I think, depending on the comic card or character, some of the cards are like the Psylocke card is absolute, just genius. This card is kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's just a very basic kind of sketch that he did for a card. Um, Israel Silva, nothing against that guy, but Israel Silva did sort of the um, inking and coloring, I guess, on this. So it's not a Scott Williams type brand. So it just doesn't. It just feels a little unpolished. Some of these card artworks, but yeah, nothing wrong with got magic. Just looking great. This is an air mint. Yeah, it's an air mint copy. It's a modern book. Pretty nice. Variant edition. Yeah, it's a comic book card variant edition of Magic. All right, well, we're gonna do that one with Astonishing X-Men variant edition number one. Variant edition. Variant edition. We're gonna make that. I'm gonna make it a 9.6. I'll make it a 9.6. All right, now forgive me if I've graded this. Yeah, no worries, Miss So. Telepathy. Yeah, okay, telepathy. Yeah. Um, yeah, just the ability to peer into a mind, I guess, right? Read a mind, um, speak, communicate, and kind of shut down their minds, right? You can also like get into a mind and shut it down and just leave you like a vegetable. Although he doesn't want to do it, he can do it, right? Um, all right. Um, I love this book. First off, the way that I picked this book up over the summer, and I'm just going to show you like what's at the biggest issue with this book. This book had a lot of mold and mildew damage at one point, and it's still there. The residual effects of that mold and mildew damage are still there. You can see all this black staining from the mildew. You can also see it down here as well. I'm sure there's room to like just wipe it down, maybe clean it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's very apparent. So just based on that damage, I'm going to put this at a mid grade. And then the book is kind of like, there's some weathering to it, some moisture exposure. Not there's a lot of humidity damage, but there is humidity exposure that created sort of this stiffness in the book. So um, it would obviously need like, you know, several presses um, and a good cleaning. And then we've got a lot of edge wear here at the top. We've got some spine ticks on a black cover, series of them. And just overall, like, yeah, just this needs a press. You got like a lot of indentation. This bottom edge is pretty nice. Corners are still very sharp for the most part. Edge, this long edge is okay. But we already went over the spine, like spine ticks up and down. That top edge is not so clean. It's got issues. Kind of seem. I mean, nothing crazy, but you can kind of see it in the light. There's some bending there, whatever. But you're never gonna guess how much I got this book for. I got this book for like like in Canadian dollars. I think I got it for $3, right? $3, $3 Canadian. But you do a currency, exchange rate type conversion to US dollars. It's like under 250. I got this book for like under 250. So um, first appearance of Nightwing, newsstand. Yeah, it's not the greatest grade. I'll put it at a 4.0. Very good. Very good plus, maybe. Um, Depending on how everybody's going to look at that staining from the mildew damage and all that. But again, the front's not really impacted. that could be clean, improved with a clean. It's not got any like major creasing. I think creasing would be worse than, well, I don't know. I think that mildew damage is pretty bad. You got the Ripken brothers there with Cal Senior, Tim Raines stealing bags. Sports now. This one's for you. All right, so yeah, we're gonna keep this Tale of Teen Titans 4-0. This is a really, I think, not that I think it's an undervalued or underappreciated book, but I think um, when Deathstroke and Nightwing make like a movie appearance in a gun movie or whatever, this book is just gonna skyrocket. Um, so we're saying a 4-0 on this one. 4-0, that was is fair. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for tonight's Great Along. Hope you guys had fun looking at my books and Great Along with me. Um, Again, what an incredible World Series we got to watch tonight, Game One. Oh man, it was everything it was hyped up to be and more with that ending. It was just, oh man, I mean, I'm sure the sports world is still buzzing. Got to go and watch some of the hot, you know, Sports Center commentary and all that. It's fun always to watch stuff like that. But man, was it an incredible game? And we just got through the first game. There's still potentially 7 more games or 6 more games. I don't think the Dodgers will sweep, but I do think the Dodgers are going to win. Let's put this here. It goes right there. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to plug my live stream with Jeff, aka Cantonese Comic Kid, tomorrow. The two of us are going on live stream around 8 Pacific tomorrow night. Please join. We're just going to talk, the news of the day, the news du jour, um, show off some books, and just have a great time. So, you know, um, I just appreciate, you know, this opportunity to like do something with Jeff. I've always wanted to do stuff with him. Now, I will say this: we've got the streaming. We're using Naman Young's StreamYard account to broadcast the live stream. The StreamYard account ends in January of next year because they raised the fees or they raised the cost of it, and Hyung doesn't want to pay for extent. He doesn't want to renew because it went up stupid crazy. Like I don't think that's a good move on StreamYard's part. But there are a lot of people out there who use it and they need it because their channels are monetized and blah blah blah. So I guess it just depends on the situation whether you're willing to pay more. We're living in an era where we just have to pay more for stuff. It's just a reality. It sucks, and that's why people are pissed, and that's why they're not particularly happy with the current administration or any administration. I don't think Donald Trump's going to help inflation. He's not going to come in and fix inflation. So we're just stuck with high prices. There's no one to blame. No, it's not like really is a geopolitical uh, uh, issue. When you put tariffs on on manufactured goods from China. I mean, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to make you think that's going to make things easier to get here in the U.S. To produce or make or buy? Just made everything more expensive. So companies are paying more for stuff that used to be cheap, and it's not like they can produce it like out of China. Like when we go to Vietnam, all the factories in Vietnam are Chinese investments. So America just it really didn't. I mean, China's just been like using its reach throughout the region. So they've got all the manufacturing shored up in all those poorer countries like Vietnam, Laos, Indonesia, you name it, China's there. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nowhere to go for manufacturing. Um, China's already, like investing in Africa too. It's not like the U.S. is in Africa, and the U.S. hasn't invested anything in Latin America. And even if we did decide to invest in Latin America, it's not like it's not like labor is going to be any cheaper there. Really, Asia, like that part of Asia, is really the cheapest like human labor, you know, in the, on the planet. So when you try to like have some kind of economic trade war with China, like you're seeing the effects of it. You know, um, and they were thinking the prices were going to stabilize, but nothing's stabilized. Everything just costs more now. So, and with it really all depends on like how exchange rates work. And right now, with interest rates going down and the dollar losing its value, it's just going to get worse. So, just keep that in mind. Um, you just got to advocate for higher wages. You want to keep up with the prices, you just got to get paid more. So, talk to your manager, talk to people within your sphere, and say, you know what, I need a raise. You need to make my wages higher in this inflationary period. Hopefully, that won't impact prices even more. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. I go off on these like random tangents, and I don't I don't sound smart, so I'm gonna just stop talking. But again, the point was Jeff and I are live streaming tomorrow. We've got a great feature for you. We're going to show off 3 books each week. We call it the rec. Sorry, we call it the spec, rec, and flex corner. We show off 3 books: our spec book, our rec, our recommendation book, and then our flex, our show off book from the collection. So it'll be a real contrast. It's a nice, you know, like what I'm curious to see what Jeff is going to bring to the table. I'm obviously going to bring something thoughtful to the table, something relevant, something, we're doing Halloween themed books tomorrow. So it should be a good time. So, yeah, join us for that. And we will, oh, Stepbrother, that's who, thanks, Radnart. You're on top of the X-Men. I'm glad. I'm like, what's his power called again? Psychokinesis or whatever. It's telepathy. Something simple. All right. So, yeah, we'll see you. Uh, I'll see you hopefully on the live stream tomorrow. You'll also see me chatting up, Fanboy on Fanboy Prime's morning show tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I think it goes on. He goes on usually live around 5 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Pacific, somewhere around there. Always a good time. So go check out Fanboy. And yeah, I'll enjoy that World Series. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.